AI agents connecting to your SaaS app. It's a massive growth opportunity you can't miss. But there's a problem. You've built a product for human users, and AI doesn't always act human. But don't stress. Fronteg makes it easy and safe to open up your product to custom agents and Gen AI platforms like Gemini and ChatGPT. First, connect. Just add your API spec and choose which tools you want to expose to agents. Fronteg will create a hosted MCP server for you. Drop your new MCP URL into a Gen AI platform. Look at that! You're listed. Now a user can interact with your product using the AI interfaces they already love. Next, you need enterprise-grade security. For example, to pay invoices in a billing app, you might want a lower limit for agents. Use Fronteg to set fine-grained guardrails. When the limit is hit, Fronteg can ask for additional authentication or invite a human into the loop for approval. Finally, observe the impact. Track how many customers are using your AI tools and how often activities were blocked or flagged. It shows that your policies matter. Fronteg gives you the fastest way to join the AI revolution. Enterprise grade, no code, and the agentic interface your users already love. With Fronteg, your SaaS product is ready for AI. So open it up.
Okay. Hey, Bogdan, how are you?
Hello, Aviad. Great. How about you?
Thanks. So I'm joined by Bogdan, the lead engineer, one of the lead engineers for the AgentLink today. We're gonna share some exciting feature that we worked really hard on called the Tenant Level Policies. I'm gonna share a quick presentation of what we have, and then we'll open it up for a chat as the way we open it up for SaaS. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't remember what AgentLink is, Fronteg AgentLink is aimed at serving as an MCP gateway and bringing the safe bridge between your APIs, your GraphQL APIs, your RESTful APIs, and all of your different sources to your AI platform. So, interfaces changing, your SaaS product that you developed is changing, and customers are demanding more and more to control everything through their prompts, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, etc. So Fronteg AgentLink is the enabler for this. What we're going to present today is what we call an AgentLink tenant level policies. When we deployed AgentLink, the idea was to have a central guardrail for everything, but there's a paradox around it, because when you're dealing with B2B customers, each customer wants to have their own policy and their own guardrails around AI usage. So one policy that we build on the application level or on the global level cannot actually serve all needs of your customers. But the idea is that there is always an inheritance. So when you set on the application level a very granular guardrails, you as platform owner set maximum limits and block tools and compliance limits. This will be served for all of your customers, but you want to make sure that you allow the tenant admins, your customer administrators, if you choose to allow specific policies. We saw it on customer identity side with policies around security and MFA and single sign-on delegation. We see the same happening with AI. So there is the global limits, and then there is the tenant level administrator limits and boundaries that are set for their employees. And if they allow, they can even choose that the end user will have personal policies as well for their use with AI. And the idea is that these policies will always take into consideration several aspects. For example, who is trying to do what? In this case, it will be an agent acting on behalf of a user, and a user is always belongs to a specific department. What is actually what they're trying to do? There is a when aspect. It might be out of hours, etc. There is a where they're coming from. Whether they are US based, GDPR, for EU base, etc., and so forth. Granular conditions, and it can be very, very, very granular. For example, in this case, for Walmart, when they submit a purchase order, if the amount is lower than 50K, they allow it, but it's above 50K, it requires approval. From 50K to 500K and above 500K, it's denied. So the condition here and the granularity of the request matters as well. And the reason that our customers demands autonomy is because, etc., when we are building application, we want to make sure that we provide as much granularity for our customers. When we say there is only one policy, okay, we actually damaging our customers' ability to work with our platform, because they need this granularity in order to interact with AI and in order to adopt AI for their use. And when we say only platform level policy, that's the old model. And then we have customer requests that are asking for more and more granularity around that. So real-time enforcement, the user is authenticating, we are loading the policy, we are evaluating them, we are evaluating the granular policy, the global policies, the tenant level policies, and the user level policies, and enforcing it for each and every one of the items. And the idea is that without tenant policies, we are limiting our customers, and with tenant level policies, we are allowing them delegation for controlling their own, I would say, destiny, even with AI adoption. So what I suggested, we start and see it in action. Bogdan, are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So going to my front end management portal. If you don't, I'm encouraging you to see the other videos on our YouTube channel to kind of get a glimpse of what is the front end AgentLink as well. We kind of, after onboarding, we have our expense application. This is our expense application aimed at creating expenses. And the idea is that we are taking this application and we make it ChatGPT compliant, cloud compliant, and AI compliant. The way that we do it is by importing tools. So we have a RESTful API, and we imported tools for creating an expense. These tools are connected to a RESTful API behind the scenes. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take our MCP generated gateway URL. I'm going to take it to Cloud, to ChatGPT in this case, I'm sorry. And then let's add the connector. So we're going to call it an expense application, copy, and what ChatGPT is going to do behind the scenes, it's going to authenticate behalf on my user, do a dynamic language registration, and then I'm going to authenticate my user, have it. And when we are redirected back, we should be able to see and create expenses and list expenses through that. So the expense application is now connected. I can see it in my connectors over here, and then I can see I'm able to create an expense for a customer dinner yesterday for $7,500. It was very expensive dinner. What ChatGPT does behind the scene, it will invoke the relevant tool. It will look for the available tool, will invoke let's see what happened here. Okay, so now we have the relevant tools. And we're able now to create this customer dinner expense. Okay, so let's try it again. I'm going to try to disconnect and connect, although it has a create an expense. Okay. Okay. So now we're able to create this expense. ChatGPT had some refresh issues over there. And if we are going to our expense application, we see that the customer dinner has been created. Now, let's create a global policy around it. So I'm going to create a policy that blocks expenses above $5,000. We don't want our AI platforms to create this expense. The way to do it is through our policy creation tool, and we are blocking expenses above 5,000. If we go back, ChatGPT now tries to create this expense using the invocation of the relevant tool. Tool has been called, and we see that we are blocked. Okay, so this is the way that our policy invocation works. We see that the first call was successful, and the second call has been denied. And obviously, the policy prevented creation of this policy. So, Bogdan, we are seeing granular, we're seeing global level policies. What happens when a customer, as we've seen in our presentation, tries to create other policy just for their organization?
Yeah, so the new feature we're releasing is multiple sources, and this actually lets you use multiple servers behind a single MCP application and combine their capabilities and provide like the AI agents to use them as a single MCP server. Using that feature, we're now providing our customers with the Frontex source, which basically gives you tools to let your customers manage your policies and approval flows, create and delete them, and manage them as they want. It comes by default when you finish the onboarding, and it's disabled. So if I'll go and enable it right now, we will start seeing that we have now tools regarding managing policies and approval flows on the tenant level, on the customer level. So let me show you how it works. I'm now connected as a different customer to the same expense app. And if you, let me just show you my connector. Here we go. We can see now that we have the same expense tools, and additionally, we have approval flow and policy tools. So for example, now I can ask Claude block expenses creation. So the policy that Claude will create right now will be specific only for my tenant. Only my customers will be blocked by this policy. Let's see that it goes. Okay, the policy was created. Now, please create an expense. Okay, now Claude is trying to create the new expense. He should get blocked by the policy I just created. Both the global policies, such as the one that Aviat created, are being blocked. And because I created a new policy for my own tenant, now is also blocking expenses above 4,500 for my tenant.
Nice. Bogdan, is that only an allow or deny operation, or can you do other stuff such as asking for step ups or human in the loop?
Yeah, of course. We also support using step-up flows and approval flows. So let me show you how it works. I can ask Claude to create a policy that requires step-up when creating expenses with amount above 3,000. So basically, this policy will require the requester to approve that expense through either SMS or email, and I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, the policy was created. Let's now create a new expense.
Yeah, this is super useful when we see even on our GitHub, right? We try to delete something, and we are asked for a fingerprint, etc. So this is super useful for this case. Okay, so we lost Bogdan, looks like. We did lose Bogdan? Okay, so let me reshare my screen because we lost Bogdan. Okay, Bogdan, you're back.
Yes, sorry about that. Some internet issues.
Okay.
When did you lose me?
Let's reshare and see the step-up flow.
Okay. So I'll do that again. Have you seen me creating the policy, or should I start?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now let's create another expense. Okay, now Claude is creating the expense. It should not go through automatically. It should require a step up, as the policy will block it. I should get an email and SMS asking me to confirm. So yeah, pending step up authentication, you will receive a notification. Let's go to my email. Okay, verification needed for your access. Create an expense. Let's review it. Okay, your approval is required to create this action. Let's go back to our expense app. We can see here that the expense was not created. This is the previous Mac PC that when I disconnected, I created. And let's approve it. So I press approve, and now we should see that the expense went through.
Nice.
Okay, gaming PC works as planned. Cool.
Can you ask for another person for approval? For we are getting asked, to have different approval flows being configured. For example, in FrontEgg, when Bogdan wants to acquire a new MacBook which is above 4K, he needs to go through a manager approval. So let's try to imitate that, Bogdan. What happens when you're trying to ask for my approval?
Yeah, so we can ask for approval flows in two ways. We can either request specific users with some role to approve them, or we can provide directly email addresses or phone numbers to require approval flow. So I'll show you how it works. Create a policy that will require the approval of Aviad Frontech when creating a new expense of amount above 4,000.
Okay. Yeah, this is the way we are helping our customers, and this way our customers can help their customers simulate flows within their organization, and having the granularity of determining who needs to approve what and in what condition. So these approval flows can go for each tool or in general for all of the tools.
Okay, so now Claude will create the new approval flow. Requires approval from Aviad for expenses above 4,000. Okay, and now the policy was created successfully. So let's try that. Please create an expense for a new, let's say, office table for $4,200.
It's a pretty expensive office table, but yeah.
Yes, Israel has very high prices right now.
Okay, so now the tool has been invoked, and the policy should kick into place.
So the approval policy is working correctly. Nice. The expense creation is pending approval from Aviad. Email notification has been sent.
Okay. Yeah, let me share my screen, and then we'll see how does it look from my end. So I got an email. If we are sharing my screen. Yeah, so I got an email on approval needed. I'm going to review the request. This is how it looks like. So this is the policy.
Wait, Aviad, I'm not sure we're seeing your screen yet.
So can you stop sharing maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share. Okay, so I got this email, and clicking on this button takes me to review the request. I see that expense exceeding 4K and need approval. This is the requester. This is your user logging in. If I'm approving it, we can probably see on your end the policy, the expense has been created, but go into my logs, I probably should see the approval flow approved, and the call has been invoked. Go into my expense application. Let's see if I see. Yeah, it's on your tenant, so I won't be able to see the table invocation, but we see that the request has been passed through. Okay, cool. And that's still on a tenant level, right? If Bogdan, if on my end, I'll try to create an expense because I'm connected on different tenant, I still should be blocked because of the 3,000 policy that we defined when we just started the call. So your policy is 10 because you're in a different customer context, and my policy is 10 because I'm in a different customer call. Okay, so that's what we have to share today. Let's open it up for questions. Yeah, so there's a question, where is there a limit for the number of tenants we can define? So no limits for number of tenants and no limit for number of policies per tenant, at least not on the infrastructure side. Some of our customers may want to choose based on different subscription plans, number of policies per tenant, or whether they allow even policy creation per tenant. But that's an applicative decision rather than an infrastructure decision. Okay, so Bogdan, thank you. We managed to overcome technical challenges, but appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next release. We have pretty exciting stuff coming. We won't share them yet, but we will have a new release coming soon with the same format as the live stream, etc. Thank you, Bogdan.
Thank you, Aviad. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.